Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a question for the chairman, if he'd yield.
He will yield.
Thank you. Chairman, in this legislation, there's a lot of numbers. I'm not going to read them all. We can all read them. I think it's a 30-page bill. There's dollars going from the state to IGT and Twin River and percentages, et cetera. Where do these numbers come from?
Okay, which numbers again? So I want to make sure there are a lot of numbers in the bill.
I mean, well, for example, you know, the payments, the $50 million commitment supposedly by IGT, the payment. My point is, who negotiated this? The majority leader was talking about this as a deal negotiated by who?
Well, it was a deal that was, if we want to call it that, it was negotiated by representatives from IGT who worked with you know, the Speaker's office, with my office, with a number of offices. I don't know of the backroom deals that may be referenced, but there were several parties that were involved in the discussions that came up with the true numbers that you're talking about. And of course, the lottery itself had, you know, had people who were involved in helping out come up with those numbers.
No, but who specifically? You said people from your office. Who from your office was?
Well, I mean, I personally sat in on some discussions, but I don't think there was ever a time, I hear what you're saying, but there was never a time when I was sitting there making a deal with a number, nor have I been in any meetings where others did exactly the same thing, except that, you know, the lottery division, people who work there, in the hearings, those are my experiences with the deal, with the numbers. So if you're asking me if I was sitting in a room where somebody said, oh, well, let's do 50,000, 100,000, I was not. So,
well, for example, the 50, I think it's 50,000 square foot, just to take one example, the 50,000 square foot expansion that's in this, why 50,000 and not 75,000 or 25,000?
Well, again, I think that was, there's a cost to the, you know, the feet and the thousands of feet, all that stuff. And I think that was a number that both the entities came up with, you know, at the end of the day.
The entities, okay.
Well, yeah, you know, you had more than one entity that was negotiating, so they had to go back and forth at some point in time. And I think also that has to do with the size of buildings, of spaces, so something was better than, you know, a lower number, and that was the one that they came up with.
All right, the reason I ask, I
Sure.
heard someone off camera say this on the amendment. The reason I'm asking these questions, to go back to the majority leader's point earlier, is what we're being asked to do here is ratify a deal that very few of us had any input into at all. And the deal may have been balanced between other interests, but the fact that they reached some kind of accommodation doesn't mean that we have to rubber stamp it. I don't represent Twin River, I don't represent IGT, I don't represent whoever negotiated this deal. I represent the people of my district. If I don't think the deal is a good deal for my district, I have no obligation to vote for it. Other people are going to talk about what a bad deal this is. Leader Filippi already started on this. But if we can make the deal better for the state by passing this amendment, for example, we should do so.